side of that, I would love to see them have a little bit more, I don't want to call it, aggression necessarily, but absolutely the willingness to make those kinds of plays themselves.
Well, now we finally have 100 Thieves ready in the lobby, and we are starting this map up, the second one on Ascent. It is best out of 3. Whoever wins this one guarantees to go into the playoffs tomorrow, and also guarantees that even if they get knocked out starting tomorrow, they are still going to go in straight to the close qualifier for UMG in the following week. That being said, though, they still have a long way until we get to that storyline. Right now, what we're trying to focus on is if 100 Thieves could actually move this into a third map, where the third map will be on split. So it's not over yet for 100 Thieves. They have a very steep uphill battle to fight as they're looking to hold their grounds early in front of that A main. As I mentioned before, you have that turret that came out, they take control of the orb, and Cloud9 also take control of A main.
Yep. I think for Cloud9, they are not willing to invest into this bomb site knowing that it's probably a stack over there, but just check the minimap for a second. 100 Thieves second-guess themselves for a moment, but Steel has already rotated back over to the A bomb site, so the B bomb site itself is completely vacant. There are 2 players over there at Market, so it's not as though 100 Thieves is completely gone from the bomb site altogether, but TenZ sure to make contact here in just a moment. Gets a flash out from the breach, collects a dink, but it's not enough. Nitro sealing the deal with a headshot from that ghost. Nice play from him. Relyks able to trade that back out. 4-on-4 now. 100 Thieves forced back out of B. Steel actually, as I say that, finding a nice kill on a Relyks. Hiko finds one of his own, but Mitch with the frenzy,
man.
Pushing at CT, finding 2 of his own. Now it's a 2-on-2. 100 Thieves in retake mode, pushing out of Market.
Planted.
Both moving towards that bomb site. Mitch
One
back in Boathouse.
One enemy remaining.
Vice will find one. Dicey will collect the 1v1, and that's a nice pistol round coming out from 100 Thieves. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Cloud9 made a good call to come back towards B. They knew they had manipulated the rotations from 100 Thieves, but I don't quite know. I mean, maybe they got held up for just a moment longer. I think that those kills coming in from Steel were imperative for that retake on 100 Thieves. I mean, if he had not gotten them, that could have been a Cloud9 round easily. So well played to them, 100 Thieves, that is, for managing that retake as it was a little precarious. But 100 Thieves 1-0 to start the game, Vansily.
There are just some players where they make the frenzy look so good. I could think about Sinatra, Mitch. That makes me want to try to frenzy playing in rank that just whiffed all of my shots. Like, that just looked beautiful from the way Mitch controlled that with a single clip, getting those 2 kills, and allowing a chance for at least for Cloud9. When you mentioned it was a great hold from 100 Thieves first, they still got in with a spike plant, which was the good news in the end for Cloud9, despite them losing the round. So that's going to bring the economy into their favor, at least for a bit into the second round, and maybe build into the third, where we have this bonus round coming in from 100 Thieves. And Asuna gets the first frag with the Stinger. Dicey all the way towards A side as well. That's all the way up towards Catwalk from A side to get that frag too. Nitro and Hiko double peek, and they're looking for a flawless. Relyks is on his own, making his way up slowly towards Catwalk, and he purchased into a Stinger. Could maybe get 1 kill, but that is going to end it there. 2-0, 400 Thieves. We are seeing, there you go, a little bit. You were trying to make sure, our
hey,
Stay
100
Sparky
Thieves
works.
has some life. Look at that.
I love it. I love it.
It's about,
I love it.
About time, 100 Thieves. You guys looking rough. And I know the Twitch chat over here, Lex, C9 bootlicker. It's not my fault 100 Thieves is playing bad. Not my fault Cloud9's playing out of their minds, chat. These guys finally showing some life. A nice 2-0 start for 100 Thieves. I think for Ascent especially, we're talking about, a map where Asuna, typically pops off. This is a great Reyna playground. I think that's a factor. Okay, as I say that, confidently swinging off Catwalk is Asuna. And this guy, I mean, he was playing fantastically. Yeah, fantastically on Bind as the Raze. He's leading the charge again with these confident peeks out mid. And there's plenty of reason to believe that this anti-eco will go the way of 100 Thieves, but Cloud9 desperate to at least get some top mid control and maybe find a gun or 2, but denied his Dicey. Sorry, not his Vice from Dicey. 2 more Bulldog frags coming out. Cloud9 falling 3-0. Asuna showing what's good at Catwalk. It's the Bulldog Reyna combo.
And sorry, as I just noticed what was going on there, it seems as though we probably had a buy on that previous round, and I think we maybe even had a bulldog for TenZ on that previous, and then we saw that stinger. So they went for that same type of strategy as it did on Bind, where they lost pistol, they got a spike plant, and they still want to upgrade the ones that could frag. So enabling Relyks and TenZ to try to get something done with the force buy, and it didn't pay off. We're going into this round here. It's going to be another bonus round coming in for 100 Thieves, where they could actually start building the rounds even better on the defender side for them, if they could get this round, because they do have weak weaponry right now. I think I still saw an Ares, which is strong enough for the B side if you want to play it there. But as we jump towards the air, TenZ reads Dicey and puts a bullet between his eyes. So that's a 5-on-4. Ult is coming out from the attackers to take control of this B site. But Hiko and Asuna continuing their spree as they drop two of their own and through the smoke with a third to fall. That's going to nullify any type of aggression inside B. We're hoping for at least to get a spike plant once again, and we will rather. Now the dart comes through, shock darts as well from Hiko. And I mentioned it before, Hiko is good with those. Asuna sweeps up with the last kill, and we now have 4 unanswered rounds. This is looking great for 100 Thieves to start things off here on this first half, and the same thing on that previous one, though. When I said we had to fight it back versus Cloud9, yes, I know that it was only versus an Eco, but you saw how Dicey was pressing forward on the mid side. We saw that triple peak on that catwalk at the same time in the at the beginning of the round. They are ready to fight back versus Cloud9's a little bit more methodical play. And the reason why I say methodical into this round, a slow pace for Cloud9 too, is that their agent composition, they don't have a Sova. So early darts to try to get information or try to go aggressive, it has to be off the back of players like Mitch with the turret, or Vice trying to go for a guessing fault line and a 1 or 2 peak body peek to try to fight off and take cover and take control of the area of the map. If it's not for that, then they don't really have map control at all.
Beautiful job from 100 Thieves. Man, pushing into the bomb site, collecting kills through smoke. TenZ even entries again for his team, but finally, 100 Thieves is answering. I mean, if you're able in that situation to collect a trade frag, you take it, right? And 100 Thieves finally converting on that. Hiko has been playing so well in this map. I mean, there was a whole lot of Twitch chat and hate going towards Hiko, and I gotta tell you, so far, the controlled play out of 100 Thieves, both on the retakes, we're talking about the recon darts, the shock darts, moving onto the bomb site. On that retake in the previous round, 100 Thieves is looking so much more crisp on the defensive side in comparison to the last map. And I think Cloud9 is a little stunned by the fact that, you know, finally TenZ is getting challenged and he's losing some of these gunfights. You know, Dicey is somebody who I mentioned earlier in the when we were talking about Bind, just not really having the opportunities to light the scoreboard up with the operator, but yep, here he is with 3 on the round, and everything is going right for 100 Thieves right now.
This is what we talked about.
For Cloud9, this is what I'm a little concerned about, is that, okay, so they're relying a lot on TenZ to find the first bloods. You know, he's moving into A main, B main, wherever it is on the map, and is usually the point of contact. And you know, he had a nice kill at a Dicey on that B hit. They had the B bomb site in the previous round, but I think that same control, that same level of aggression can come out from 100 Thieves successfully, and I think it just takes a little bit of good luck and a little bit of confidence coming out from 100 Thieves, and Dicey finally showing it. Asuna showing it again. Things are looking good for 100 Thieves once that pistol went their way. 5-0
Look at
now.
default though, Lex. It's again the same 3 people at the beginning of the round towards A to watch that first. Then you have Relyks that's watching B main. Then you have TenZ that's at the mid side. And so far, 100 Thieves, they know this. So they fought back towards the A main. They win that battle. Relyks even died on a 1 versus 1 towards B main too. So they don't really have to force any rotations out from 100 Thieves. They don't really have to be guessing right now. They're playing right to the counter-stratting Cloud9's default, and they're playing it quite well, and it's just a fight back to that position. And there's mid side, they're trying to go for a split. Now it's even up on the 3 versus 3, but there's not much more happening from Cloud9 yet. Yes, they have mid and B main control. They could get into B if they want to, but you still have, actually, yeah, they have 3 ults to work with too. So things are looking actually good for Cloud9 after all, despite the trades that happen early in their positions that are given away.
Yeah, impressed so far with their ability to at least get on the bomb site. Not a full buy, as previously mentioned, so the fact they've already got 2 kills in this round, they're going to get a bomb plan out of it. Cloud9 already
30 seconds left.
Already in a good position to win, despite the odds against them.
I was going to say.
I mean,
Watch
they
those
have
shock
a breach
darts.
ult. Yeah, they have a Raze ult, and as long as you don't get, you know, befallen to shock darts, It's definitely a commanding position. Relyks over here at B main. This is such a dangerous angle. I mean, having to push him off of this, and yeah, the flank will come in. Such a dangerous angle, no matter which way you're coming from, especially when he has that operator in hand. Steel knows he's gonna have to challenge, and he does collect a headshot. That's his second after dropping 10. And suddenly, this is very much a 100 Thieves round. Steel dominating. 3 beautiful retake frags coming in from the Killjoy of 100 Thieves, and now Cloud9, this conversation goes from being, oh, 100 Thieves is looking good and playing above what they were on Bind to Cloud9. Do you have anything that we haven't seen yet in regards to a way to crack this 100 Thieves defense? You know, even the free kills that they're getting on their gun rounds, right? I say free, but, you know, they found an easy kill over there at B main, just by virtue of the fact that it was a whiff kill, I think, from Dicey. You know, you're going to get some fortune like that occasionally when you're playing Valorant, but 100 Thieves is coming up aces right now, and I gotta hand it to them. The fact that they were able to win that round despite losing an operator, having a breach and a Raze ult. I mean, the odds were against them at that point. So yeah, 6-0. It's looking scary for Cloud9 in their attack half, but a lot of Valorant left to play.
Thankfully for them, though, Cloud9 were also on an eco. So for Cloud9's perspective, to still be able to get a spike plant,
true,
also getting 3 kills out of that, it's still quite good for them to, you know, it's still 6 rounds won in a row for 100 Thieves, which the economy is still quite healthy for the defender side. But to still be able to dispatch them from their positions only working with pistols, it's still good news for them.
Absolutely. Taking their time is Cloud9 over at A main. And I believe a Roomba was dropped over there towards the B side of the map, so a little bit of map presence coming out there. I believe that was Relyks. But the A hit will come out from Cloud9 here in just a moment. They being 100 Thieves, know that Cloud9 is poised to come out here, so the rotators are already here for 100 Thieves. Albeit not completely into the bomb site. The A push comes out. Dicey finds the first onto Shinobi. 4 members of Cloud9 now on A bomb site. Will be putting down the spike.
Spike planted.
100 Thieves in full retake mode, man.
Yeah. Even at this point, it's only now that you see Steel rotating back to the A side, because he was still expecting Relyks to actually get into the site. But Relyks finally are into B for a lurk, but they finally push in as a team towards this A main. This might be it for Cloud9. It's like, okay, well, these splits don't work. Let's just work as a team. And they overtake the site now that they're dispatching 100 Thieves. We do have a big plan from Asuna, though. He's able to put one out. The turret comes out as well, but Steel's on low HP. Now Asuna is just going to try to make this expensive. He's already on the site. He's actually... I thought he was sticking it.
He was sticking
but
it. He was.
I didn't see the bar come out, though, so that's why. But then Relyks came out to get the kill. So I think he tapped to maybe try to push him out, I'm assuming. But nonetheless, it's still a round coming in for Cloud9 where, you know, they changed their pace. They just walked in at the site. They pushed in at the site. And with the Rolling Thunder, it helped a lot for Cloud9 to gain more map presence on a post-plant situation, especially when they already lost 1 player early from Dicey's operator. So when we talked about Dicey, he didn't have a chance to shine a lot into Bind. He's definitely waking up at this point. Like the 2 young fraggers, again, it's going to be that same storyline. The veterans, they're still going to be at the bottom. You're going to have the Zoomers at the top, but that's what you want. That's what you want, because they are the duelists for the team.
And clearly, I mean, neither of these players is new to playing Cloud9. They've played with them on other rosters, so they're playing with full confidence right now. And like you mentioned, you love to see it from 100 Thieves. TenZ, though, waking up a bit in this map, finding the first frag for his team over there towards the B main. You know, as far as Ascent goes, you know, they've worked this slow default several different times, and it hasn't panned out very well for Cloud9, if only because their entries were getting traded out relatively well. But they opted in that last round to move towards a 5-man hit at the A-bomb site. And TenZ has an operator battle with Dicey, and all they see is elbows. No tags, no damage, but
elbows too pointy.
A near miss from both. That's right. Would not shoot with operator. That said, a 3-2 cat split coming out towards A from Cloud9. And Relyks about to make contact over here with TenZ towards Garden, but not quite yet. Steel, can he collect? TenZ finds one with the shorty, but Nitro trades it back out, and the Killjoy will force Cloud9 to retreat.
This is great.
And set up again for another rehit today. There's 20 seconds left on the clock, so 100 Thieves knows the play must come towards A.
Should run.
And we're about to see a dogfight over here, Vansili.
Yeah. And because they know it's happening towards A side, because Dicey's flanking at B. He even takes down Relyks. A big fragger, 10 seconds left on the clock. that are holding their grounds here as the opening was still towards the back of the rafters. Hiko goes to work, even just jumps into it for the detain for the hell of it, and that is how you hold the site there. And you know, the way that you hold it, you just had to be landing your shots because you were expecting a 4-man push coming out of that Killjoy ult, so you have to be quicker on the draw, have the reaction time necessary because you don't have any utilities to try to counter back. Because if you're moving anywhere else within that site, you're going to get detained by the ultimate lockdown that was left behind by Mitch. And when we talk about Mitch's lockdown, I still have to give it for Steel too. Despite him dying towards that garden side, they had 2 players there with him and also Nitro just to make sure that it's going to go off, just to waste a lot of time here for Cloud9, for them to try to execute into the site, and that allowed the moment for Dicey to go for that backstab too. So that was beautiful from 100 Thieves, big hold, and now it's just going to be 100 Thieves continuing to move forward as we have the eco for Cloud9, and still pressing forward are the defenders on the A side, getting the wins on these 1 versus 1s. And now you're just going to try to get into the site with the last 3 players. Long range from Hiko, fully blinded. Relyks gets the kill with this, with the frenzy, but he's not able to pick up the rifle because it's too far left behind towards that spawn. He doesn't know if there's anybody there or not. Steel's playing his passive the top scope. It's perfect. And now you only have 1 more to go, and he's going to drop towards that B main, courtesy of Nitro. And 100 Thieves are looking very strong on this defender side.
I'm really liking their B holds right now. I mean, Steel showing so much discipline on a lot of these rounds to just stay alive, to give up, concede a little bit of ground, wait for the rotator. I mean, he's only 5-4, but I'm giving him praise because of what he seems to be doing on these retakes for 100 Thieves, or at least preventing the bomb plant and the entrance onto the bomb site from Cloud9. It largely has to do with the Killjoy kit coming out from Steel. So he's playing that magnificently. And I think, you know, when we're talking about the beautiful young fraggers of Asuna and Dicey being able to set their team up in 5-on-4s, 5-on-3s, they're getting that now for 100 Thieves. And, you know, I described the bind play from Cloud9 as masterful, and a vice pick early on in this round from Asuna is already going to set Cloud9 back in a huge way in this round. Losing their breach right out the bat's never good, but they don't have teleporters to work with, Cloud9, and that's what I was going to say about the difference now between their mid-game here versus bind is that the rotates for 100 Thieves were always lagging behind, right?
Yeah.
You know, Cloud9 was able to manipulate the rotates often, and then instead here, 100 Thieves is getting correct reads until now and rotating appropriately. And as I say that, the caster curse is there. 100 Thieves has rotated 4 players towards A in a gamble because of a misread. And now I was going to give them praise to this.
Oh, this is so good.
They're so committed to it. Look at this.
The Cloud bursted the alarm bots. They could just walk through. They're going to get caught off guard on the rotation back. Look at this. Asuna doesn't see it coming. TenZ gets the first kill. Now they get to split into B. Steel has to come up huge in the back of the boathouse because that's where they're closing in. And this is going to be a GLHF from the boathouse. He does have a nanoswarm that he can pop out so he could focus on the right side of the map. But a nanoswarm from Mitch comes back in return. He's burning down and he's going to stay in the corner. He does get the first headshot, gets paranoid, but he is wasting precious time here for Cloud9 to allow his teammates to rotate back. Dicey does get the off kill onto TenZ. He's narrowing it down the defense. Finally, he dies. There's only 10 seconds left, and only now do we get the spike plan to come down. A 3 versus 2, a paranoia inside the site, but we have not committed inside yet because we don't know where the 2 players are. We know at least 1 has been planted. 1 is the planner, and Mitch is at the staircase. But now we're closing in. A dark cover to come out on the staircase side so that Dicey could try to see if he can get a pick here on the sidewalk. Sova Dark, they will not see them so far as they're hiding inside the dark cover. Hiko looking to go head-to-head versus Mitch inside. While they're going to keep Shinobi busy, and he does get the spray control for those 2 kills. And Steel, once again, you talked about his patience, the way that he has to hold down the site as much as he can, and he did exactly that.
He won them that round, and he only gets 1 kill. But the fact of the matter is, he's so patient in his play right now. He knows that he needs to win a gunfight and survive, and he does that beautifully. No trade comes in from 100 Thieves, and suddenly the push gets stalled. 20 seconds left on the clock. They're getting hung up at market and B main. Wow, excellent rotates in from 100 Thieves, and right there at the end, Hiko deploys 2 shock darts, drops the Omen down to 30 HP, comes in and collects the 2 retake frags. 100 Thieves firing on all cylinders now. And you know how I mentioned, I think I was talking about bind, but for 100 Thieves to come out and look scary in one of these maps, right? Like to have a 9-1 score line against Cloud9, this is unprecedented in the sense that, you know, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves is absolutely playing at the skill level of Cloud9 now, and the fast push comes in. Asuna picks up one, but Mitch has already claimed a frag on the Nitro, so this dance around at B main will go the way of Vice. Dicey over there at Boathouse is able to get one, but not before being forced off the angle by that breach, and I wonder whether or not Cloud9 is even going to get access to this bomb site. Maybe they double back instead because it's a 2-on-3 now. 100 Thieves, yeah, 100 Thieves is rotated in, so Hiko is closest at the defender spawn. But he hasn't made contact quite yet. Here it comes now. Will he be traded out? No, the movement has already gone towards B. So there's a 2-on-2 here at the B bomb site, and they do not realize where Dicey's position is, and they haven't cleared him out, and he gets both.
Oh my god.
Wow, 100 Thieves looking so good right now.
And I like this strat from Cloud9. They've done this often, actually, where they actually have a dark cover or a cloudburst at B main. Then you have a paranoia being thrown by Shinobi towards market, where TenZ with denies is just going to jet through the market and catch some players off guard. And they were actually able to get 3 kills out of that and make it a 3 versus 2. But the thing is, Dicey inside that boathouse, we thought he was left for dead pretty much in the back of that B site. But when we talked about Steel staying alive as long as he can, he stayed alive and even survived on top of it because everybody was dancing around trying to find him. And when we talk a lot about players having to be patient too and relying and trusting on your teammates to stay alive as well, Hiko literally just let 2 people pass by just to get the 3rd kill onto Vice to allow that 2 versus 2 to come back in favor of the 100 Thieves. So that was beautiful. Now we have them regressing back towards his A main. A tag coming through from the Hunter's Fury and still capitalizes with 2 kills on top of that as they had a triple push. Now there's only going to be 1 player moving inside that site. They're forcing TenZ with an operator to push aggressively in there where Asuna is holding in the back of the boathouse. So every single player are doing an Iron Man strategy to have 1 player play in the back of the boathouse and see how long they survive pretty much. And it's Asuna with the 2nd kill, and he's looking for the 3rd one, and he sees him in the form of TenZ. Now he lures him away rather, as Dicey's moving back down to try to support his teammate, and TenZ is going to be on his own to try to clutch this, and Asuna gets the wall bang on top of that.
All right, I'm sure I'm going to start to piss off Cloud9 fans now, but
Switching
my goodness, 100 Thieves. Asuna is insane. His dancing around in the back of the bomb site and his use of the angles, right? Like, Cloud9 knows where he is. They know that if they're going to be challenged, where he needs to be peeking, but he just is so patient. Dances around. You know, the entire time that we've seen this 100 Thieves defense, you know, defending these B pushes from Cloud9, this entire half, it almost seems like Cloud9 gets the advantage. They may not get the entry every time, but they get the ground they need to take the bomb site, and they just lose. They lose that fight near Boathouse, on the bomb site, in the trenches. Every round, 100 Thieves is coming up on top. Wow, tremendous performance on the defensive side. And I don't see a way that Cloud9 carries any sort of momentum from behind or anything that happened in that first half. They're flat right now. So yeah. I hope that, you know, when we're talking about their chances in this map, if it's going to be competitive for them at all, you know, obviously it starts right here on the pistol. But I don't see 100 Thieves letting up the gas this easy. They are looking good.
I don't know. I'm not discrediting Cloud9 yet. This is their map pick. Now they had the defender side too. This pistol round is also crucial as much as it is for 100 Thieves than it is for Cloud9. And they are pushing straight into the garden. And it starts off really well for 100 Thieves. They're looking to pinch into the side as well, but a backstab coming from mid. Nitro does his job. He takes one with him. And that makes it a 4 versus 3. They're pushing back towards spawn side. Mitch is waiting for them, and it's Mitch with a frenzy. He's going to be the one dancing in the back of the B side now, as the rest of 100 Thieves are pressing forward. Alarm bar, and also the turret seals the deal, but there's still one lurking towards the back of the mid side, and that's going to be Hiko. He falls from TenZ back to a 3 versus 3. Nano Swarms to come out to waste some time, and Mitch is playing the full house. One person, make that 2 people low HP, make that 2 people dead, and Mitch is still holding his ground. Finally, Steel on a 3 versus 1 for an attempt of a clutch. He does still have a spike, still has 30 seconds as well, which is why he's okay to move forward and try to get this fight. The wall bang, 2 bullets left. He has no idea where TenZ is at. TenZ is at the sidewalk right now, and he's looking to run back towards the defender spawn. They spot each other. He runs away. Does TenZ have the dash? He does. He's chasing after him around the corner, and TenZ wins the fight. A long-range frenzy with the headshot, and Cloud9 stays alive.
I thought for a moment Steel was going to have that round. The Sheriff Bion pistol coming in huge. And unfortunately for them, the likes of Mitch, back in that boathouse position that we've highlighted several times throughout this game as being critical. A critical point in the round where, you know, 100 Thieves looks like they have it locked up. It's all good. And Mitch comes in massive for his squad. Wow. Excellent frenzy play throughout this series. And once again, Cloud9 is back in this. A little bit of life with a pistol round. Can't hate that. And I think, you know, if you're talking about a comeback, if we're going to have that conversation at some point during this game at all, you know, I think it is important that now that we are in anti-eco territory and the bonus, which they will need both, obviously, this is not a situation where you can afford to be losing ecos. But you're going to need to build a bank pretty early and get an operator on TenZ consistently. And so a clean eco round win for Cloud9, if the comeback is going to happen, is necessary. TenZ greedily pushing up here over at Catwalk behind this Omen smoke. He has a little bit of support, but there are 4 players at odd angles challenging him, and this is dangerous now. Relyks bails him out. 2 frags going his way, a little bit more damage for a 3rd. Not bad, but Asuna and Hiko take 2 lives from Cloud9. Now it's a 3-on-2. Not entirely out of it as 100 Thieves, but certainly not looking likely. Low HP Hiko, that's a low chance, low probability round, and there it is. Cloud9 cleans it up. And suddenly 11-3, man. This is still so far to go, but not bad from Cloud9 to at least secure the round. Because I mean, you know, you do get 3 kills there, or 2 kills, then it's certainly a situation where you can maybe get on the bomb site, maybe look for a bomb plant if you're lucky. But Cloud9 is too wise to that. 11-3 now, 8-round deficit for Cloud9. And Cloud9, as I mentioned previously, this is going to be a bonus for them. They need to win it.
Clearly they do, because even if it's a bonus round for Cloud9, it's a tight situation for them, right? Because we could call it as much as a bonus round as we want to, but if they lose this round, it's still going to be map point for 100 Thieves for the rest of this half. So they have to come out of it on top and maybe even on, and in the end, upgrade into the Phantoms that will be left behind by 100 Thieves. And as you look at their strategy right now, they're looking to get this map control to start things off, but a very passive play on long A. Look at Relyks' position already. That allows now the Jett TenZ to fall back and watch the catwalk, and they still have a stack towards the B side. And that's where 100 Thieves are walking into. The big flank's going to happen soon. Relyks is going to hear Hiko jump down into shinobi, into Sabrosa's position towards mid side, and he's looking for that flank. This is not looking good here for 100 Thieves into this round. There is that kill. And is that going to be the cue now for 100 Thieves to just execute inside this B site? Indeed it is. The first smoke to come out. Asuna charging the lead at the point inside B. He's trying to clear it out towards that staircase side, but Twice is in the back of that go house, aims down the site, and that's a burst to the face. 5-on-3 now as the other 3 players are rushing all the way through spawn, and they're going to try to flank back towards the garden, where Dicey gets the kill onto TenZ on the rotation, but Relyks is still alive here at the A side. They are losing players 1 by 1, but they are also losing time for 100 Thieves. They are now rushing in, and Relyks hits the rocket. Could this be it right now for 100 Thieves in this round? Connects onto 1. 5 seconds left, and that is no time, as he was able to drop the spike carrier as well. And Cloud9 on the air quotes bonus round also survive as well on top.
All right. Well, I mean, they win the bonus, and I don't want to paint a picture of a comeback yet, but certainly that is what needed to happen for this matchup to even be interesting in terms of competitiveness. I mean, that was a must-win scenario for Cloud9. Putting them on map point this early would definitely have been a spell doom scenario. But 100 Thieves opting to spend a little bit into this round, get a little bit of light armor, some pistols, hope to keep the economy of Cloud9 low, because, you know, if they are going to bonus, they are going to buy into the next round. 3 kills there means Cloud9's economy isn't exactly looking that great, especially if they lose here. So the knives get brought out by Dicey on 100 Thieves, and he will fall immediately to TenZ over there at that wine position. So A main hotly contested. 100 Thieves yielding now. TenZ presses forward, finds one on a steal. And although, like I said, this is a light buy coming out from 100 Thieves. This is very nearly an eco. And TenZ eats them all up. 4 beautiful eco kills going his way. But 11-5. Suddenly we got a ball game, Van Zilli.
Yeah. Even though they lost the knives, 400 Thieves, at least that's the information that there's going to be time to time where Cloud9 wants to play as aggressive that we saw, for example, Envy play towards the A main, having somebody playing towards that wine area. And the good thing for 100 Thieves is that they have Killjoy mollies, they have shock darts, they have recon darts, they have a recon owl as well to try to spot that area should they want to take control of that A site again. So the tell wasn't that big because it was an eco, and they could still put that back into their arsenal for a later hit. And speaking about a different type of strat here for Cloud9, it's them pushing forward towards his B main, where it seems as though it was read by 100 Thieves. They were expecting them to play all the way back towards that shed, and they got a couple of trades and even the upper hand in the end. So a 2-man advantage for the attacker side as they're pulling back here towards the A site versus a full utility spread across the entrance of the A side from Mitch. And it's going to be him and Relyks that will have to try to keep this dream for Cloud9 to remain in this game. And you could see how 100 Thieves, they know this in their favor. They're just booking it right now.
I mean, that is what we're talking about, right? This is Cloud9's chance to stay in this game. And man, that was a little greedy of Mitch to be walking off catwalk when you already lost the B main aggression. But that's how it goes down. 2 kills go quickly the way of 100 Thieves, and a third shortly follow. And now 100 Thieves has a free A bomb site. Mitch does challenge after all. I wasn't sure whether he was going to opt to save there, but he peeked out. Got his head ripped off for his trouble. And now Relyks in a 1v4. I don't see him going for this. And if he can keep the gun, if he can keep the weapon into the next round, you know, that wouldn't be bad. But I think it is also important. You know, you're thinking about like maybe building an ultimate. Maybe you want to, you know, cheesy kill here or there on the exit, but a little bit of a risk to press any further than he is now. So he'll opt to retreat, save the weapon, hope for the best on the next one. This is looking all 100 Thieves. You know, we saw a little bit of daylight in the last couple rounds for Cloud9, just in the sense that they have some rounds on the board finally. But, you know, 100 Thieves, I rightly so thought that, you know, Bind was going to go the way of Cloud9, but I was so wrong on 100 Thieves' preparedness for Ascent. I really am taken aback by their ability to just dumpster Cloud9 right now. This is a this is a pretty serious scoreline at 12-5 to say the very least, Vansilly.
Yeah, I must say, like, I mean, they got what, a 13-2 scoreline versus LG yesterday, and not to discredit LG, but when you're looking at Cloud9, how good they've been in the past on Ascent, you think it was going to be something that sways in favor of a top 3 team in North America versus LG that are still trying to find their footing and getting that experience right now playing versus tier 1 teams in this first strike qualifier. They also won versus Dignitas too, but they also lost fairly like by a huge margin versus TSM, and also lost to Moon Raccoons. So when you're losing a map like this to Moon Raccoons, who, you know, at this point are still looking for an org, you're starting to feel comfortable as Cloud9 into your map pick, playing into this map of Ascent. But 100 Thieves, as you mentioned here, Lex, they're definitely impressing me as well. So TenZ,
I mean, as far as like being a scary team goes, Vansilly, like this is 100 Thieves playing. You know, obviously the scoreline is reflecting that they're dominating, but the individual plays and the skill that we're seeing out of 100 Thieves across the board, is nothing but good news. The fact that we're seeing Steel, who only I would say like relatively recently transitioned to Valorant, performing the way he is, impressive. TenZ with huge kills over B main and a third pressing forward. He is unstoppable when he has these knives out at times, and there it is on firm display. And Mitch cleans it up. 12-6. Cloud9 showing signs of hope. A heartbeat is still there. 12-6. That's still a deficit. But an excellent play coming out from TenZ. We saw the updraft collecting 2 nice frags.
that was beautiful.
And it was almost greed. It was almost an overstep at B main, but catches, I believe, that is this Dicey, getting caught off guard. And wow, what a play from TenZ, man.
But you see what it is.
That's why.
Exactly. It was basically a triple strategy for the retake. Cloud9 has it wasn't a luck play. They actually set that up.
Yeah.
So not only did we get 2 flashpoints going inside the B main from Vice, we also had paint shells being thrown from Relyks in the front of that site, so that whenever you do have TenZ updrafting, he could focus towards that B main entrance, while his 2 other teammates could focus on damaged players if you have more towards the B main that already slipped through at the beginning when TenZ was able to updraft twice. So he gets 2 kills with the knives on blinded players. He dashes forward to a third player that gets blinded by his second flashpoint, and on top of that, breaks the ultimate. That's, you know, from an ultimate being thrown there at the B main that they're definitely going to try to rush into that B site, right? So it was just well done for Cloud9 to adapt to it right away. What do you usually see other players do, especially with an ultimate that's actually placed up there on the top of the boxes? I think it's also to avoid being spammed by let's say an Odin or a Guardian or a Sheriff. So I think from that position, it also opens a gap towards the back of the boathouse. So a lot of the players usually would fall back into the B site, play into the back, and then just hold their ground, hold the line as much as they can. and then fight versus their opponents who are pushing into the area. But Cloud9 decides to do the opposite. They're pressing back versus 100 Thieves from that strategy that we saw, and it was just beautiful to watch. So, like I said, it's Cloud9 here on the defender side. It's not over yet. If you're looking at how this half has been played on this first half versus the second half, so far it's been pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta wonder, you know, Cloud9 is showing signs of hope, but we're looking at the scoreboard right now, and we see Vice at 6 kills, Shinobi at 4. It's very clear, you know, looking at this scoreboard that this is a, you know, maybe a 1 or 2 man show most of these rounds. And when you're looking for a comeback, you need all 5 players contributing. You need everybody firing on all cylinders. And unfortunately, I mean, until you get that in one of these rounds coming up, I just don't see Cloud9 being able to close this out. And, you know, I hate to throw so much shade at those 2 players, but the fact of the matter is, like, if you're not contributing on the scoreboard, if you're not fragging, if you're not playing, you know, a high level of Valorant in a scenario like this, like, I just don't see Cloud9, you know, breathing much more life into this half, but anything is possible. Yeah, anything is possible.
Exactly. Anything is possible. I'm on a boat. I think that's too old for a song for most of the audience on chat. But I mean, look at Vice. He's still at 7 assists, right? He's not getting kills, but he's enabling players like TenZ to get these triple kills and whatnot. And also on top of that, when you're looking at Cloud9, just as we resume this matchup here, they do have 2 ops that they're working with too. Mitch has done it on the A side before, and they also have TenZ with an operator. So they pretty much have A and B on lock, or even mid side, depending whoever wants to op anywhere they want. So this is going to make things a lot harder for 100 Thieves to take control of this area. So Nitro's going to have to come up with something to adapt versus his 2 operator setup.
And the cat split comes out. Asuna with a great kill on a Relyks to crack the site open. Mitch finding one into Asuna, though, immediately shutting down that a little bit of aggression that I just highlighted. And unfortunately for 100 Thieves, the push has slowed. C9 does have players in this bomb site, but they crept right by Shinobi, so he's effectively negated. Everything that I just said is wrong. That was a beautiful play from 100 Thieves to bypass that defense and just basically get in their face. Wow, 100 Thieves now. 3 on 2. Cloud9 not out of it yet. Player over there at Heaven, that is Mitch with the operator. Doesn't find the angle. Takes some damage. Has to retreat off the angle.
left.
And now, 100 Thieves for 30 seconds.
Remaining.
They're going to wrap this round up, I imagine, as this is now a 1-on-3 for Mitch. And he's at half HP. The spike's getting planted. That's going to be it. 100 Thieves with a commanding performance. And wow, what an answer from Bind, Vansili.